Welcome to our question and answer session. You may begin the first question.
Today 28 questions หลวงพ่อ Question number 1 from Tara, Australia. I find it difficult to follow the breath at the tip of the nose as the sensation is not very strong. Can I watch the breath at some other body part like the chest or abdomen?
Yes, you can. If you can watch the breath coming and out at your abdomen, you can watch it there. But stay on one point. Just watch at one point. Don't move around. Don't follow the breath. You want to fix the mind. You want to make the mind become still. So it has to stay at one point, either at the tip of the nose or at the abdomen.
Question number 2 from Kit Eng, Malaysia. How can we use the breath as the object of meditation when we experience nose block, like having a flu or runny nose?
You have to use something else, maybe a mantra. Chant a mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Or you can watch the breath at the abdomen, like the other question.
Question number 3 from Siuju, Singapore. How should we best prepare for our death?
Just contemplate, remind yourself constantly that eventually the body has to die. But you can also contemplate that you are not the body. The body is your servant. You are the master. You are the one who gives the order. You are the one who tells the body what to do. So you don't die with your body. What you do is you change your body. Your body get old. It cannot not do anything anymore. Then it will stop functioning. Then you have to go get a new body. The body is like an automobile. When the car no longer can function, then you just throw it away and buy a new car. The driver still doesn't die with the car. So this is the same way with the body and mind. The mind doesn't die with the body. When the body dies, the mind go and look for a new body. And that's what we have, rebirth. When you get a new body, you are reborn with a new body. But your old self is still the same. Your thought, your feeling, the way how you think, the way how you feel, is still the same. What you like and what you don't like is still the same. You only change the body.
Question number 4. Death is usually painful. Should we try as much as possible to avoid painkillers or drugs because those medicines might cloud our mind when we are near death?
Yes, try not to use anything to deal with your pain. Use meditation and wisdom of the Buddha, because if you know the nature of pain, you can cope with it, and you can eliminate the mental pain, the mental suffering, which is a lot stronger, more harmful to you than the physical pain. If you meditate when you are in pain and your mind stops thinking about the pain, then the mental suffering will disappear. All that is left is the physical pain, which is not as harmful or as hurtful as the mental pain. So meditation can help you live with the physical pain. And if you have wisdom, you can entirely get rid of your mental suffering, because the Buddha said that the mental suffering arises because of the desire of the mind to get rid of the physical pain. But the physical pain is something that you cannot get rid of. They come and go as they like. The only thing, the best way to deal with them is to leave them alone. If they come, let them come. If they go, let them go. The mind just be calm and be be aware of the pain, but don't react to the pain. Don't have any desire to get rid of the pain. Then the mind will not be hurt by the physical pain.
Question number 5. If we are on a life support machine and there is little hope of recovery, is switching off the machine considered as an act of killing?
No, it's an act of stopping supporting the body. Just let the body exist on its own, just like everybody else. You and me right now, we don't use any support machine. So it's the same way with the sick person who uses a support machine. You can just stop using the support machine, that's all. It's not killing. Stop supporting, that's all. Stop supporting is not killing. Let the body exist on its own. If it's gonna exist on its own, if it can exist, let it exist. If it cannot, then let it happen. Let it die. This is not killing.
Question number 6 from Joel Poir. If nirvana is a state of peace and calm, which can be achieved for oneself, would it be considered selfish to stay in that state, as there are many in this world who need true teachings?
The Buddha didn't stay in nirvana alone. He came out and teach people for 45 years. So you can have nibbana and you can still help people. Because the mind that is free from suffering doesn't have to be in samadhi, doesn't have to be in meditation. The mind can be anywhere, anytime, talk to anybody, do anything, say anything. But the mind has no defilement that will cause the mind to be painful or hurt. So the mind that is free of suffering can help a lot of people, like the Buddha did.
Question number 7 from Siu Gek, Singapore. Who are the Brahmas and Devas? Is there such thing that Brahma and Devas protecting meditators? How and what they do to protect meditators?
These are the different level of the mind. When it has no body, it will be a spiritual being. And each spiritual being has different characteristics, depend on the karma that each individual did while he was alive. See, if he is charitable, he becomes a deva. If he can meditate and enter into jhana, he becomes a Brahma. So these are the different characteristics of the mind when it has no body. It becomes what we call spiritual beings, and it can be on the good, happy side, or it can be on the bad and unhappy side. If the mind when it has the body and it did bad karma, like killing, stealing, then the mind, when it has no karma, the mind will be a bad spiritual being. It will be afflicted with suffering and pain. It becomes like it becomes a hellish state.
Is there such thing that Brahma and Deva protecting meditators?
Usually no, because they cannot protect themselves. But sometimes they can assist people who is alive. If that Deva has some connection previously to that person, and that Deva maybe owes that person a favor, so that Deva might want to repay the favor, he might be able to come and do something to maybe help or maybe to protect that person by maybe telling another living being what to do. Like some Deva might go into another person's while he is sleeping in the dream, and tell that person that he should go to the temple because the temple needs some help. See, so he never went to the temple before, but when he dreamed that he should go to the temple, maybe the next day he felt compelled that he has to go to the temple and to see what he can help at the temple. This might be the work of a deva, a spiritual being that can contact a living being through dreams or through meditation.
Her next question, who is Mara as mentioned by the Lord Buddha? How does Mara affect the Magga?
Mara is the personification of evil. Evil is bad karma, like killing, stealing. Person who does this killing or stealing is considered a Mara, a bad person, a bad being. There is no such thing as a Mara. It's just the person who does bad karma. Like when you kill, you become a Mara. When you steal, you become a Mara. When you give to charity, you become a Deva. When you meditate, you become a Brahma. When you can see the Four Noble Truths, you become a Buddha. See, these are different characteristics of the mind, depending on what the mind has achieved when it has a body, when it was alive.
Question number 9 from Mahesh P. India. I practice mindfulness. How to live mindfully without judgment?
Well, don't think. See, if you have mindfulness, then you don't think. You just be aware of what's going on. Then you don't judge. You see good thing, you see bad thing. You see good people, you see bad people. You just see, you just know. You don't think if you have mindfulness. See, the reason why you think is because you don't have strong mindfulness. If you have strong mindfulness, as soon as you know you are judging, then you can stop right away. So you need to develop strong mindfulness before you can stop thinking or judging things and people.
Next question, question number 10 from Teo WT from Malaysia. I've been learning Samatha meditation since January and have been learning Vipassana from Goenka since June 2008. For Samatha and Vipassana meditation in my daily life, how can I segregate my time to practice both?
You actually cannot practice both because Samatha and Vipassana are like two different levels of education. When you go to school, first you have to go through elementary and high school before you can enter college or university. So you have to practice what you call level by level. You cannot practice both of them together. You cannot go to high school and then go to college at the same time. Vipassana is considered higher than Samatha. Before you can go into Vipassana, you need Samatha first. So you have to develop jhana first before you can go into Vipassana effectively. You can go Vipassana, but your Vipassana will be the fake Vipassana, not the real Vipassana. Not be able to get rid of your defilement. The real Vipassana will enable you to get rid of your defilement. But if you have no Samatha, you have no jhana, you will not be able to use Vipassana to get rid of your defilement. So you first concentrate on Samatha Bhavana, concentrate on mindfulness, because mindfulness is the key, the tool that will make your mind become jhana. Then you can then develop Vipassana to get rid of your defilement.
Question number 11. Sometimes my meditation is smooth, but recently when I practice Vipassana meditation, I always feel sleepy and can't really sit still. How to solve this situation?
Because you're not practicing correctly. First you have to develop mindfulness, because mindfulness will be able to calm and still your mind. Without mindfulness, your mind can be active all the time. So if you want to first control your mind, you have to develop mindfulness first. Mindfulness then will be able to control your mind, to stop your mind, to make your mind become still. The only problem with mindfulness is it can only do this temporarily. In order to make the mind become completely tame, you need vipassana. The mindfulness can only tame the mind temporarily. If you want to tame the mind permanently, you need to develop vipassana in conjunction with mindfulness. Once you have mindfulness and vipassana, then you can tame the mind to become tame permanently.
Question number 12 from Jena, America. I start learning about Theravada Buddhism and the Thai culture. I'm a former Catholic and now I'm a Christian who believes in God and Jesus. So my question, is it okay for a person to be a follower of Buddhism and Christianity?
To a point, yes, as long as the two teaching doesn't come into conflict. But as soon as the two teaching come into conflict, if you want to continue to be a Buddhist, then you have to follow the Buddha's teaching. But on the early stage of practice, the two teachings are similar. The basic teachings are the same. The lower level of teaching, such as charity and not hurting other people by having precept, keeping the precept. These are the same in almost every religion. But as you advance further to a higher level of education, the conflict might come. Then you have to decide which is which to follow. But I think by that time you'll know what to do. Because I used to attend a Christian school for about 8 years. And I nearly became a Christian. But somehow in the back of my mind, there's still some Buddhism in me that prevent me from being a Christian. Because some of the logic that the teaching of Christianity doesn't sound right to me, let's put it that way. I don't want to say whether I'm right or wrong, but to me it just doesn't sound right, doesn't seem right. So I was not able to accept that teaching. Let me be clear, I'm not criticizing any religion. Each religion have their good and have their right, whatever. But to an individual, he has the right to choose. And that's for me, I just find that I could not choose Christianity as my guiding light. I eventually found Buddhism and chose Buddhism to be my teacher.
Question number 13. I am almost 30 years old, but I feel that I still think like a child. I'm very emotional. When I'm happy, I will be extremely happy, but when I'm sad, I also extremely sad and in danger of falling into depression. I also change my opinion very fast. One moment I think of this decision is correct, and the next day I will think another decision is better. Why can't I think more maturely? Are all these childlike way of thinking my past life's characters?
Yes, it's your past life characters. And in this present life, you're not developing your mind. You only develop your body. So you grow in body, but not grow in mind. In order to grow in mind, you have to study the Buddha's teaching and then apply his teaching to you. If you can do that, then you will become more mature and grow up. This is the way to grow mentally, is to follow the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha said you have to be charitable, you have to stop hurting, harming other beings, you have to learn to meditate, and you have to know the fact of life, the truth of life, what life is about. What is the real nature of life? This is the Buddha's teaching. The real nature of life is that everything in this world is impermanent. Everything is not under your control all the time. Sometimes you can control them, but sometimes you cannot control them. And when you want to control them and you cannot control them, it will hurt you. If you don't want to be hurt, then you have to let them go, let them be. This is the knowledge, the wisdom of the Buddha. that we have to learn to develop. Once we have this, then we will become mature, because we will be able to control our emotions, our action, our thoughts, our speech.
Question number 14 from B. E. Ong. I'm seeking guidance and protection. I'm practicing Ajahn meditation. Recently, I always fall sick. I enter into another type of imaginative meditation and have triggered my telepathic ability. I now live in fear mentally and suffer physically. What should I do? How do I seek protection and guidance from the triple gems?
Well, the triple gems, the Buddha is no longer with us, so you only have his teaching and his noble disciple to be your guidance, to be your guide. So you either studied the Buddha's teaching in the Tripitaka, or you can seek the advice of a noble disciple, which is hard to say, hard to find, because you don't know which monk is a noble disciple and which monk is not. All you can do is do by trial and error. You go to this monk and study from him. If you find it's not right, then you have to study from another monk. You can do this now without having to go to the monk physically. You can study their teachings. Their teachings are posted on YouTube, on the website, which you can read. Then you can have something to guide your life and protect your life. If you have no teaching, then you are like somebody without any protection.
How about my telepathic ability, that now I live in fear?
Psychic ability is something you can ignore. Just don't just ignore it. What you know, what you see, just ignore it. Just treat everything that you see or hear from your telepathic ability as temporarily impermanent. You cannot control it, so you just let it be. But you don't have to believe what you see or what you hear.
Next question number 15 from P. Tui Nguyen from USA. If Nibbana is a permanent state, why would the Buddha and Arahant continue to meditate after enlightenment?
They meditate not for enlightenment. They meditate just for rest and recreation. The mind, after working, can become tired also. After talking, after giving Dhamma talk, the mind can become tired. So you want to stop the mind, rest the mind by meditation. Sometimes the body, after sitting for a long time, it needs to do some exercise. So the Buddha and his noble disciple will walk meditation as a form of alleviating the physical pain. But they don't do it for the purpose of enlightenment, but because they already have become enlightened. It's more for the comfort of the body and mind as they still exist together. But as soon as there is no body anymore and the mind doesn't have to do any thinking or talking anymore, then there's no need to do anything anymore after death.
Question number 16. I understand that greed is a result of pleasant feelings which cause one seek for more such pleasant experiences, and anger is the result of unpleasant feelings. Does this mean that delusion is the presence of neutral feeling?
No, delusion is the not understanding the nature of feelings, that they come and go, that they change from good to bad to neutral. These are the nature of feelings, and they are not under your control. So if you try to control them by try to go after them, you can become disappointed. Then you will become sad and unhappy. But if you don't want to become sad or disappointed, then you just leave the feeling alone. Let them come or go on their own. Just entertain them, accept them when they come, whether good or bad feeling. Just know that this is like your customer. If you run a shop and you have customer coming into your shop, sometimes you have good customer, sometimes you have bad customer, sometimes you have neutral customer. You have to entertain them, you have to welcome them, because you need their money. So this is the same way with feelings. Once we have the body, then the body will generate these three feelings. So only thing you can do is just accept them as they come. Then your mind will be calm and peaceful. But if you start to become discriminatory, then you can become, your mind can become restless, agitated. Then your mind will become unhappy when it has to face the feeling that it doesn't like, such as bad feeling. And when it wants good feeling and it cannot get good feeling, it can become unhappy again. So the best thing for the mind to deal with feeling is to welcome them as they come. Good feeling, welcome them. Bad feeling, welcome them. Not good, not bad feeling, welcome them. Then the mind will always be peaceful and happy.
Question number 17. Is delusion connected to the craving for sensual pleasures?
Delusion is the cause of craving. See, delusion is not knowing that the craving for sensual pleasure is more harmful than helpful. Delusion think that craving to sensual pleasure is beneficial, good for the mind, because it brings happiness to the mind. But it's a temporary happiness. Once it fades away, then bad feeling will come instead of good feeling. So a wise person will see that to crave for sensual pleasure is harmful to the mind, because the pleasure you get is temporary. Sooner or later it will disappear. When it disappears, then what you get instead is bad feeling, dissatisfaction or sadness. So it's better not to crave for anything, because everything you crave for is impermanent. You can only have it briefly, and after that it will disappear and will leave you empty and sad.
Question number 18. About the 5 khandhas. Are perceptions the same as memories?
Yes, in Thai Buddhism we translate sanya as perception and memory.
Are mental formation the same as thinking?
Yes, sankhara or thoughts.
Question number 19. How is consciousness in the 5 khandhas different from citta?
The consciousness in the 5 khandhas is the vijnana, which connect the body to the mind. See, the mind connect the body to the 5 vijnana. So the vijnana are like a connector, like a earphone you connect to the telephone. You need a connector to connect to the phone in order to use your earphone and microphone. This is the same way. The mind needs the vijnana or consciousness to connect to the body. So the vijnana will connect to the body, to the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the body, in order to receive sensation that comes through the 5 senses. So this is the function of vijnana in the 5 khandhas, which is the different from the vijnana, which is the citta itself. When there is no citta, when the citta has no body, then the citta is called vijnana in Thai, or spiritual beings, translation, or ghost, or whatever you want to call it.
Question number 20. Could you please explain how the 5 khandhas relate to 4 foundations of mindfulness?
Well, the 5 khandhas is something that the 4 foundations of mindfulness teaches. See, the 4 foundations of mindfulness is the study of the 5 khandhas. In order to understand the 5 khandhas, you need to follow the teaching of the 4 foundations of mindfulness, because you need mindfulness in order for you to be able to get to the five khandhas. If without mindfulness, you can only get to the one khandha, the rupa khandha, the body. You can see the body, but you cannot see the other four khandhas without mindfulness. So you need to develop mindfulness. Once you have mindfulness and you can calm your mind, then you'll see the functioning and the stop functioning of the four khandhas. When the mind becomes calm, the four khandhas will stop functioning. And when the mind re-emerge from samadhi, then the four khandhas will start to function. The vijnana will then reconnect to the body. Then the mind can see what the body sees, hear what the body hears. But when the mind is in samadhi, it doesn't hear or see anything that the body see or hear. So this is the fourth foundation is the study of the five khandhas.
Question number 21. Is perception contemplation of consciousness?
See, perception is sanya. When you see something, you need sanya, perception, to tell you what you see. When you see a person, you need perception to tell you what this person is, who this person is. This is the role of perception, to tell you, to inform you what the picture, the thing that you see. If you have no perception of these things before, then you don't know what you see. You know it's a picture, but you don't know what that picture is. Until you eventually learn what that picture is, then it becomes perception or memory. And the other one is contemplation. Contemplation is actually the working of the perception and thinking. You want to think about something, you first have to remember what you want to think. You want to think of the body, you have to know the body. You have to bring the body to mind. Then you think about the nature of the body, such as it's gonna get old, get sick, and die. So this is the work of sankhara and sanya when you do contemplation.
Question number 22. Is mental formation contemplation of Dhamma?
Yes, part of it. Mental formation is sankhara. You need also perception. You need also sanya, both to be able to do contemplation.
Question number 23. Could you please explain what does fabrications means that is the result of ignorance in the paticca samuppada?
Fabrication?
Yes, fabrications. I think she explained bodily fabrication, verbal fabrication, and mental fabrications.
You mean action, probably, right?
I'm not sure.
See, body action, speech action, and mental action. These are called karma, the three karmas. The body karma, the speech karma, and the mental karma. The mental karma is the chief, is the boss, the master, while the verbal karma and the physical karma is the servant. They are the servants. They take order from the mental karma. You think before you can say or do with your body. So this is how the paticca samuppada works. The mind thinks, then it tells the body what to do, what to say. It tells the body to go look for sensual pleasure, to go look for sight, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects. Once it has tasted this thing, has come into contact with this thing, it gets feeling, good or bad feeling. And when it has good or bad feeling, it has desire. If it's good feeling, it has a desire to acquire. If it has bad feeling, it has a desire to get rid of the thing that it has come into contact with. Then after having desire, it will cause the mind to be attached to these things, one way or the other. And then when you have attachment, then you will keep coming back for them for more and more. So you have rebirth. So this is how it works. It starts with the mental karma. The mind will tell the body and the mouth what to do or what to say. Once it wants something, and then it tells the body to go get it.
Her next question: Are fabrications similar to defilements?
No, fabrication or karma is just action. Defilement is the one that drive the karma into bad karma. Defilement is the cause of your karma. Let's put it that way. First, you have to have the desire to get something. When you have the desire to get something, then the mind will tell the body to go get it. So you have defilement that pushes the mind to tell the body what to do.
Are defilements present only in craving?
Craving is part of the defilement. See, craving and hate, greed or craving is the same thing. You greed or you crave for something. And when you cannot get what you crave for, you get angry. And the cause of your craving and your anger is caused by your delusion, not knowing that they are not good for you. So you keep coming after them because you think they are good for you. You think it's good to crave, you think it's good to greed, but you don't know that it eventually will hurt you when you cannot get what you want, or if you lose something that you already got. So with wisdom, you will learn that it's better not to greed or to crave. And when you don't greed or crave, then you won't have any anger. Then your mind will all live in peace, because you will have another kind of happiness that arises from not greed, not craving, not angering. That is peace of mind.
Question number 27. In the teaching on dependent co-arising, what constitutes formless becoming?
Formless becoming?
Yeah. From attachment as a requisite for becoming. Sensual becoming, form becoming, formless becoming. I don't understand.
Well, see, existence, there are two types of existence, form and formless. If you have form, like you have the body, if you become a spiritual being, when there is no body, you become formless. You become devas and brahmas. These are formless. Your desire will crave for either form or formless. If you cannot get a body, then you get a deva existence, or you get a hellish existence, a hungry ghost existence. It depends on your good or bad karma.
Last question from Alex Tan, Malaysia. Is Satipatthana, foundation of mindfulness, the same as Samma Sati in the Noble Eightfold Path?
Yes, Sammasati is the four foundation of mindfulness. If you want to have Sammasati, you need to develop the four foundation of mindfulness. Then you will have Sammasati and also Samma Samadhi and also Samma Titti, Samma Sankappo. You will have the whole Noble Eightfold Path if you can develop the four foundation of mindfulness. That's the pillar, that's the foundation of Buddhist practice, Buddhist meditation practice. It's the practice of the four foundation of mindfulness. Okay, thank you for your questions. And if you still don't understand what I said, you can send in more questions and we'll try to answer it next time. In the meantime, keep practicing and hope one day you will become enlightened. Goodbye.